Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and tonight we're talking about something that happened 20 years ago, on a night just like this. It was cold, it was rainy. Actually, I don't know where I'm going with that. It is just about, we're within a week of the 20th anniversary of Robots in Disguise. That is now some people now would know that as Car Robots. It's not the 2016 Robots in Disguise. It's the one from 2001. And so since it's close to the 20th birthday of Robots in Disguise, then we are talking about Robots in Disguise, guys! Look at that! We've got a whole bunch here, and actually, Robots in Disguise characters are nothing new to this channel. We have already talked about Landfill many times. I've got Landfill here. One of my favorite combiners ever, and we're really not gonna talk about him tonight because we've really kind of done this. So yeah, Landfill, you can just you can watch. You don't have to star. Also, we've spent a reasonable amount of time talking about Megatron already as well. So we've got him. But we're not going to be focusing on him tonight. Instead, we've got some of the other stars of the Robots in Disguise series to go. But before we go into that, I want to throw out a special thank you to everyone in our Discord who has been participating and making it really fun. I've been using it, and that's a kind of a big deal for me because I'm a curmudgeon that doesn't like to try things that are new, especially that are tied to the internet. But it's actually been a lot of fun. Everybody has been great. We've had some fun conversations, and we will continue to do so. And while I'm mentioning the Discord, I will say that there is another link. The link's it's an invitation link, and these links are active for a week. It is in the description to this video. So if you haven't joined the Discord and you are watching this, or if you're watching it after the fact and we're within a week of, what is today? Today is the 17th. So if it's before September 21st, or let's see, 24th, yeah. I can do math in my head. Then you can use that link to join the Discord. So that's pretty cool. Also, as usual, Monica will be monitoring the live stream chat and the Discord chat for questions and comments during this live stream. So, you have thoughts, you want to weigh in or just say hi, then please do. We will toast you. We try to respond to comments as much as we can, although it gets kind of crazy. So, show and tell. I got my new camera. And, here, I almost knocked over my drink. But, okay, so here we go. Here is my brand new camera that I got. Oh, wait, no, this is a transformer. Well, it's a third-party transformer that turns into three dudes. No, this is not my new camera, but the new camera looks an awful lot like it. I don't know if I can... Okay, I'm going to try and show this here. We're just going to do this. So there it is. There's the new camera, and then there's the other camera. And we discovered today that the adapter that we bought for the new camera doesn't come with the part that actually connects the electricity to the camera. And that's a really important part. It's got this little box that plugs in where the battery is supposed to go, and without that, you're not getting electricity to the camera. So right now, the new camera is using battery power, and I've been trying to get myself familiarized with it. And here you will see, for the first time ever on Retrobot, the view from the new camera. There it is. I'm still working on figuring out the exposure and the color levels because I would like to brighten this up and get the colors to pop a little bit more. more. But nonetheless, the image quality is really, really nice. You can see that it's, you know, it's actually doing a really nice job here, and we'll be able to see stuff. But thanks to the magic of our black magic, I can press a button and go back to the other camera, which right now the color balance seems to be much brighter, and I like that a lot. So we can go back and forth, but nonetheless, we do have new camera technology. We have a switcher. We're working towards making these live streams and these videos way more awesome, and also giving you a better view of the toys that we're all here to celebrate. So, also, you'll see that I got one of my new Retrobot shirts, which we ordered from TeePublic. It is number 1 robot. It's the word number and then a 1 and then robot, all one word. And there's a link to that in the description if you want to check out that page. It's all stuff that Monica has designed, and she's amazing. And I have a couple others. I got my Till All Are Broken t-shirt, which I'm really looking forward to. And hopefully we won't break any of my toys tonight. Fingers crossed. I also got my full color from 1982 Vectrex t-shirt. Yeah, this, you know, there's only a handful out of you that will probably even get this gag, but for those few, I love you. So there we go, and so let's see. We've also got Monica got The Thing McCready figure. So it's Kurt Russell's character from The Thing. And here, let's go ahead and put him. I'm gonna. He dropped his booze. He dropped the booze. I know, but you pointed to it. I didn't know that it meant hold on to it because he will drop it. Wait. Okay, we found the booze. So let me put that back in his, you know, I'm not putting it in his hand. I'm going to put it in front of the camera here, and I'm going to change the view, and blammo, there he is, and it wants to, the camera wants to focus on the robots behind him. But that is the McCready figure. He looks great. He really looks awesome, and most importantly, he does come with a little bottle of stuff. Can I get it to focus? Come on, camera, work with me here. Focus. Nope, if it doesn't want to. All right, you know what? I can do something like this, and I can do that. There we go. So that is, there we go. So yeah, we've got a little bottle of K and J, whatever that is, and we have some amazing packaging here. Yeah, you know what? Let me just do this. So yeah, we've got The Thing and McCready. And for those of you who are a fan of this movie, it's kind of an epic movie. I mean, you know, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it, because all horror is based off of this movie. Okay, that's probably not entirely true, but a lot of horror is inspired by this movie, and so you definitely want your own Kurt Russell figure. And here, let me give you that, and give you that, and give you those. All right, so okay, Osaka Jack is here, and that's really exciting, because I got a package from Osaka Jack, and I'm not allowed to open it until he's here, and that means I get to open it, right? Can I open it? Is that a yes? Okay, so yes. So we've got this, and it feels like a My Little Pony, Osaka Jack, are you sending me a plush My Little Pony? Do you know what's in here? Oh, okay. Because you know, you could give me a hint if you know what it is. Okay, wait. Okay, I see orange. I see orange. I see yellow. It might be a chicken? Is it... Oh my gosh. I guess that makes me the new leader. No, it does not make you the new leader, Starscream. Okay, so what this is amazing, by the way. This is, and there's a snap here. It is a plush wheelie. There he is. He's got his own Autobot symbol, and he's got his own rub sign. So I guess we can rub his belly. Osaka Jack, did you make this? Like, is this you okay? You commissioned this? That's amazing. That is amazing. And so yeah, we got wheelie, we got plush wheelie, and I this is adorable. I can't be mean to this. Is this you trying to make me stop being mean to Wheelie? Yes, Ashy Slashy. When something is soft and adorable, then it means that we can't be mean to it. Right? No, just... Okay, I love you too, Ashy Slashy. You're soft and you're adorable. So yeah, we can all be friends. Thank you, Ashy Slashy. So anyway, thank you so much, Osaka Jack. This is amazing. So Plush Wheelie is, well, we're just gonna have to keep him around because he's just fantastic, and I love the little face here. I mean, yeah, that is something special. Thank you so much. I don't know what else to say. I just love it. I love him. He's he's so fun to hold on to hug, to squeeze. He feels so soft. Dare I say, he might be called Feely? I don't know. I'm hearing crickets chirp here. So, well, whether he's Plush Wheelie or Feely or whatever we decide to call him, he's fantastic. Thank you so much, Osaka Jack. This is amazing. So let me, do you, Retrobot, do you wanna hold on to Wheelie here? I can, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there, look at that. Yeah, all right. Okay, so that's fantastic, and I don't even know where I was. I've got no idea. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and toast everyone who's in the chat tonight. So I got my my Robots in Disguise red Energon drink, and things do get a little bit complicated with the Transformers Robots in Disguise series. So, with that being said, I want a big toast to Rob and Joy. I know that Joy's getting her car worked on, isn't she? So, let's send some positive automotive juju to Joy. A toast to Joy and a toast to Joy's car. A toast to Dawn! Always a toast to Dawn, who found Rekgar for me this week, so that's fantastic. And a toast to Colleen. We love you, Colleen. I'm looking forward to you coming. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be some Commodore 64 stuff happening. Oh yeah, it's going to happen. That's what we call a teaser. Starhound! A toast to Starhound! Welcome, Starhound! I ended your name with a little bit of Richard Nixon there, I apologize. A toast to Asher and Mike Spicer, who sent me the most adorable videos after they received their own Retrobot t-shirts. Thank you so much. I showed them to Monica. I'm keeping them forever. So, thank you. A toast to Canadian Ranger. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mr. Canadian Ranger. Of course, a big toast to Osaka Jack, because you're awesome, and you sent me Plush Wheelie, or Feely, or Pleely? No, that doesn't work either. We'll get there. We'll get there. So, a toast to Osaka Jack. A toast to Entertainer 13. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Entertainer 13. And a toast to Christopher Remley. Always a fun night when we've got Christopher Remley on board. Hello, Mr. Remley. All right, so, yeah, that's toast. Also tonight, our secret word that's never so secret because we put it on a board and we write it right there, right there. I'm looking at the camera view to be able to point, but it's right there. The word tonight is complicated, because anybody who has tried to transform Skybite knows it's complicated. And that's one. And that's two. All right. Whew. That's a lot to start out the show. Is it just me, or is that a lot? We front loaded this one. So all right. Let me clear a little bit of space here. Megatron, you can go down here for now. And I don't think anybody needs to see Megatron right now. We can also move Ultra Magnus right there, and then we've got our Scourge, and we've got Skybite. So let's go ahead and take a look at Skybite. And I'm just gonna put him. Oh, whoa. Oh, so yes. So for those who don't know, a little bit of history about Transformers Robots in Disguise. No, not the 2016 one, the other one, the one that happened in 2001, which was known in Japan as Car Robots, which now we always call it Car Robots, because in 2016 they had to go and make another Robots in Disguise show. Thanks. You know, I mean, it's been 40 years. Can you guys come up with some other catchphrase? You know, you don't have to ditch the Robots in Disguise thing, but I feel like you know, in fact, wait, everybody, just move away. I'm talking to Hasbro here. I didn't realize I was talking to Hasbro, but I am talking to Hasbro. So Hasbro, come here. Okay, it's been 40 years, and you've had Transformers for a long time. All right, a really long time, and you've really been milking the Robots in Disguise tagline for a long time. So I feel like for your next show, maybe to celebrate 40 years, which is coming up in like 3 more years, you come up with another tagline. I mean, you don't have to lose Robots in Disguise. Just kind of keep it in your back pocket for a while. That's what I'm suggesting. Yeah, does that sound good? Does that does that work for you? Yeah. Okay, keep it in your back. So, all right, everybody can come back. Everybody can come back. See, that was a.
We now return to the Transformers.
That was a short one. So anyway, so it was the end of the Beast era. The Beast Wars and the subsequent Beast Machines series had been continuing to lose popularity, especially after things went to Beast Machines. In Japan, it wasn't that popular. Actually in Japan, no, Beast Wars, instead of going to Beast Machines, it went to Beast Wars 2, and then Beast Wars Neo, and then Beast Wars Japan, Beast Wars Australia, Beast Wars Universe, Beast Wars Galvatron's a basketball. I mean, there were a lot of things that happened in that era, and so we get to the end of the Beast era. Hasbro had been thinking about doing a trans tech line, but the dwindling popularity of the Beast universe kind of motivated them to try something new. So, the U.S. original plan was to follow up Beast Machines with Trans Tech featuring Maximals and Predacons, as well as a number of returning G1 characters, but then they decided instead to go back to a more classic Transformers line. And so they imported car robots to kind of fill the gap between when their new line, which would turn out to be Armada, would be ready. So that was what happened in 2001. We got Car Robots, which was a Japanese original show, and just a complete mishmash of toys. It had molds from the Beast era, it had Gen 1 molds, it had Gen 2 molds. It was crazy go nuts. And then it also had some brand new molds that were ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, cool, but definitely kind of ridiculous. So I remember at the time I was in college, I didn't have money because of course I was in college, and I remember seeing the Transformers Robots in Disguise toys. I think the first toy that I saw was one of the Spy Changers. But I saw that logo. I saw the Transformers logo, and there was this little car. It was the size of a Matchbox car, and it had an Autobot sign. Not a Gen 2 Autobot sign, an actual real-life Autobot sign. And it gave me goosebumps. I was so excited. I did not buy the toy because, as I mentioned, I was broke. But I was so excited to see these toys, and there are some cool looking toys that came out during that time. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of the toys that somehow I did end up buying. And let me switch views here. So we've got Skybite here, and Skybite, I'm gonna switch this up a little bit because I think I'm getting a clear image here. All right, so we've got Skybite here, and how could I not buy this? Whoa, here, I've gotta do that. He is based on a mold that was originally called, actually, in Japan it was called Gel Shark. But it was based off of a mold called Cyber Shark, which was a Maximal, actually. And we just happen to have Cyber Shark right here. And, you can see very, very much the same toy. Apparently they did make some corrections here just to fix some of the loosey-goosiness, which I will admit that this toy does have some loosey-goosiness. It seems like at some point when I got this, I actually did some joint tightening. I can see a little bit of glue in the joints, which is probably why his wings are actually holding themselves up right now. But yeah, that's Cyber Shark, who would become Skybite. And honestly, how could I not buy that? I mean, look at that. We've got shiny bits, we've got beautiful gradations, we've got fantastic paint deco. Look at the little pops of red and yellow and green on the different electronic bits showing through. And notice that he's got this fantastic organic shape, even though he looks robotic. He actually looks kind of like a cyborg. So, you know, this is an amazing toy. You saw that on the shelf, and you had to make that choice. I had to make the choice of, okay, do I want to be able to go to McDonald's this week, or do I want to own this toy forever? And so I sucked up ramen all week long, and ramen and baked potatoes. That's what I ate a lot of during college. And then I bought this, and so this is Skybite. Robots in Disguise, Skybite. And I feel like Skybite is the kind of the breakaway star from Robots in Disguise. You know, he had so much personality. I think he's best known because he was a poet. And you know, of course, he fancied himself a poet, although I've heard that his imagery is derivative, and his poetry lacks semiotic cohesion. How many of you remember that quote? So we've been watching some of the episodes, and I have to say that the fact that Optimus Prime was giving Skybite his critique of the poetry is absolutely brilliant. It's not what I would call a good show, but it is a fun show. So also Angry Vikings is here. So a toast to Angry Vikings. Welcome, Angry Vikings. And we didn't get the music. Monica's checking. It looks like the internet is doing something a little bit wonky. So, in between answering comments and watching the chat, she also runs from the room to check the router, the internet signal, and everything else. She's a very, very busy woman that I don't think it's possible for me to appreciate enough. But anyway, so once again, we have Skybite here, and yeah, I love the shark mode, and I know it seems like I'm milking the shark mode, but I love it so much, and there's so much going on here that I almost don't want to turn him into a robot. You can see some robot stuff happening at the very bottom, but most of the view is actually really impressive. He's also got a space for his double-barreled gun inside. I don't have that in there right now because it just kind of makes it a little bit harder to transform. And honestly, he is hard enough to transform. Which, speaking of transforming Skybite, let's do it. So, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull at the jaw and just pull it down. And that's where the robot legs are, and you know that once you straighten out the feet and separate them, then you have the lower half of the robot right there. So, you know, I feel like at this point, as long as you don't mind that your shark doesn't have the bottom half of a mouth, now he's a land shark, and he could be like, "I call for you. I would tell you a hole, except I don't have a lower half to my mouth. And so, roses are red, violets are blue, sharks don't have legs, and I don't true. I don't know. That didn't work at all. But nonetheless, you pull down the legs like that. Let's go ahead and pull these side. I guess these are the gills. Do sharks have gills? Yeah, they have gills. Okay, so I don't know anything about biology. So you can make fun of me in Discord because I didn't pay attention in biology at all. Biology doesn't have gears and I know he's a robot. I should know, but anyway. So let's pull at the gears. The gills, and by the way, I did toast Angry Vikings, so you know, Monica came back. And Setoyami is here. A toast to Setoyami. Welcome, Setoyami. We are talking about Skybite from Transformers Robots in Disguise, aka Transformers Car Robots. And we're transforming him. And so now what we want to do is, there's a couple things that we can do here. We can pivot up the head, and then we also want to take the body and kind of, it snaps right here. So you just want to unlock it from that. And that gives you the ability to move some things around. And now here's where things get a little bit wonky. In fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these gill pieces. They're on ball joints. So we're going to very carefully twist them. And I do need to be careful with this toy. It's 20 years old. And yeah, I can tell that they are showing their age. A lot of the whites are not white anymore, which is very sad. But so we're going to separate the halves of the body. Skybite, like many of the Beast era Transformers, is quite a bit of a shell former, and some of these can be very, very tricky, especially when the shell pieces kind of interfere with each other. So you separate the body panels here, and they are on, you can see from the back here that they are on these ball joints that are attached to these hinge pieces. You see these gray things here and here on either side. So there's one here and one here. That's where the wing things, well, they become wing things, are attached, and you kind of need to maneuver them a little bit and get them to twist out. Now, if you pull the whole body down, then you can pull these up, and you see those gray things will rotate around, and then we can twist that around and tuck it in next to the head. And hopefully it stays there. This one's a little bit loosey-goosey, so it doesn't want to stay there. I'm going to do this one, and we're going to rotate that up this way. Just like that. And you see how it takes that gray piece right there, and it just rotates it around that shoulder pin. And then we're going to try and, you know, this is where things get really jiggy with this toy, because you see how the fin on the head is in the way, the gill piece is in the way, just everything is just in the way as you try to maneuver the body panel around. And let me twist the fin, and there we go. And now this can come up and it can tuck beside his head. And now the rest is much, much easier. So we've got the one arm that's attached to the underside of the tail, and we're going to just take that, and now we can take that gill out of the way, and we're going to rotate that out to the side of the body. See, that's going to just rotate right here. It's on this panel. We're going to rotate that here, and then the whole tail makes up the other arm, and we can bend at the elbow while we rotate that around. And now we'll just take those gill pieces and sort of straighten them out, and then we hold the whole thing up like this, and then snap the bottom of the body in with the waist. And now, last but not least, we can take the sides of the tail and give him sort of an egg beater claw. And see, it's got this little wheel here that you can use it to spin. And that That is Skybite in his robot mode. And he looks awesome! I mean, this is a good-looking robot. So, yeah, now, one thing that I notice about a lot of these Beast Era toys is they have the fist kind of at the side like this, so that, he looks like he's permanently pumping iron, yeah, oh yeah, I'm so strong. Yeah, Megatron's sure to promote me now. I just have to do a couple more reps. And except that's not at all his personality. I mean, he did always want to get promoted, but he wasn't Anyway, so let's go ahead and show Skybite on the other camera. If I can, let's just move that right around there and get him into view. And blap. There he is. Ooh, that's kind of washed out. Wait, let me do this. I can change camera views and focus. Focus. You can focus. Can he focus? Come on, please. Focus. Okay, it's focusing on my hand. All right. I really need to learn how to use this new camera because it is not doing what I want it to do. Let me try that. There we go. Okay, I flicked the switch on the camera and it works better now. So that's nice. Oh yeah, that is looking good. All right, so there we go. And we'll turn down the exposure on the other camera because that's way too bright. All right, so there he is. And you can see that we've got a fully posable figure. He's got ball joints at the shoulders and at the elbows, and he's got full rotation at his hips. He's got a little bit of a twist here. He's got knee joints. He's actually got double joints at the knees, so he can get a lot of posability here. The shark jaws that make up his feet actually give him a lot of stability, so he's able to hold himself up really nicely. And so yeah, he is a really awesome toy. And the only downside, if there is a downside, is that transforming him is work. And at this point, because the plastic is older and I'm so afraid that something's going to crumble in my hand, then it's always a little bit scary to pull him out and start playing with him. But he's a cool figure. And they did a new version of him not too long ago. I want to say that it was around Combiner Wars, maybe. And I probably have it, but I honestly don't remember. It didn't look like it was substantially better. It was probably easier to transform, though. And so that is Skybite. He absolutely is a favorite. In fact, I feel like he is... Excuse me, a little tickle. He is absolutely the breakaway star from the Robots in Disguise show, and a very memorable part of the series. Cyber Shark didn't play a huge role in Beast Wars. He was never in the TV show that I can remember. I don't think that he ever appeared in comics to any noteworthy level. So, yeah, I think that this is an awesome looking toy. And I'm glad to have both of them. But nobody knows who this guy is. So, Angry Viking says, Thrilling 30 Skybite from 2014. Thank you, Angry Viking. Yeah, that makes sense. Thrilling 30. Thrilling 30 was a good line. That was a good line. We should visit that sometime. Although, aren't we always visiting that line in some way or another? It seems like. So yeah, as much as I like Cyber Shark, and I love the color scheme, don't get me wrong, but he, as a character, he just goes largely undefined, whereas at this point, any guy that looks like this is going to be compared to Skybite. So, that is Skybite. The one, the only. I should have come up with some cool poetry to read for Skybite. But moving onwards and upwards, let's talk about a far less known character. And, a less known toy. Because the character is actually, in many ways, another one of those breakaway characters, but in this case, it's from the latter years of the Transformers Generation 1 line, which then bled in through repainting into Robots in Disguise. Wait! Before I go into that, Hope is here! Welcome, Hope! I'm always happy to see you. When are you coming for a visit? Everybody say hi to Hope! So, let's go back. This is Bludgeon. And he is a repaint of Transformers Generation 2 Hero Megatron. And so he's got these air-powered missiles, which conveniently store in these little things on the arms of the robot. But we can take those out, and we're gonna try this out here. So we've got the missile, which doesn't look at all ridiculous at the end of that tank, and we do need something appropriate to shoot at. And so I feel like, oh wait, look, we've got a guest on the show. Oh look, it's Kelly, the anime woman that seemed to always end up in the middle of the Robots in Disguise characters' adventures, kind of unknowingly being involved, although she never knew why. And so let's try this out. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. There we go. Ha! Ah, poor Kelly. She's had a rough life. Kelly, are you all right? I don't know what's going on. So, okay, thank you, Kelly. So, yeah, we'll just set Kelly aside here, and we'll put the air plunger. I have to say that the air plunger gimmick is one of the more absurd gimmicks that I have seen applied to Transformers toys. I mean, obviously this just does not really integrate well with the toy. The play functionality, I feel like 20 years ago this thing worked better than it does now, but nonetheless, it's just such a weird choice. Yeah, it's just a weird choice. Now, you can see the similarity between this mold and Gen 2 Megatron. Gen 2 Megatron was green and purple, whereas Bludgeon gets to have his green and yellow color scheme. Bludgeon, of course, is best known as the skull-faced samurai pretender from Gen 1 that really got boosted to stardom through the Marvel comic. He was leader of the Decepticons at the end of the run of the original Transformers Marvel comic series. He was still the leader of the Decepticons at the beginning of the Generation 2 comic when Megatron came back and then ended poor Bludgeon's existence. There wasn't a whole lot of a fight there either. It was Megatron destroyed his shell, and then Bludgeon jumps out, turns into a tank. You don't even get to see his robot mode because nobody cared about his robot mode. He just turned into... Excuse me again. Oh, my. Little, too much air conditioning air, I think. He turns into a tank, and then, if I remember correctly, Megatron also turned into a much bigger, badder tank, and then blew him up. And then he, like, held the skull head because, you know, that's the head that everybody cared about. So, but yeah, so kind of an unceremonious death for Bludgeon in the comic book series. But the comic book was enough to make that character kind of echo through the decades, and it is still one of the most beloved characters, even though there's not a ton of toys about him in the Transformers universe. So, Robots in Disguise, we get a KB Toys exclusive that is the retool of the Megatron toy. And, you know, this is one that I don't think made any appearance in the Robots in Disguise cartoon. So it's a little bit orphaned, but we can imagine that this is a better version of the little tank that was inside that Pretender. Just as a side note, I recently had the opportunity to buy a Gen 1 Bludgeon with the Pretender shell. And I did not get it, because as much as I like the character, that is not a great toy. And $180 for a not very good toy, you know, I've got that Universe version, or no, that's part of the movie line, isn't it? Yeah, even though it's not really done in the movie style, but it was part of the first movie line, and yeah, I think it was the first movie. But you know, the Bludgeon that was done for the Transformers movie, the live action movie, that's the best version. It's the best version. So now you know. You can hunt it down, and you can get it, because it's awesome. They did a repaint of it as Megatron, not nearly as cool. It's okay, it's Megatron, it's still a cool toy, but it's much better as Bludgeon. So, anyway, we've got this version, which is Robots in Disguise Bludgeon, and his tank mode is nice. You know, he's a good-looking guy. Let's go ahead and show that. The turret doesn't pivot. That's one failing of this design, which, you know, honestly, at the time that this mold was created, that kind of thing wasn't a priority. But what they did do with this mold is they gave him a really nicely articulated robot mode. So let's go ahead and turn him into a robot so you can see that. I'm going to take off the little gun here. I am going to pull the arms, which are up against the side of the big plunger thingy, out to either side, just like that. And we can actually dislodge the little plunger thingy, and that allows us to flip the back end, which is where the legs are, around like this. And now you can just go ahead and stick this back in, because you don't really need to do anything else with it. We're going to straighten it out at the knees. He doesn't have feet. He just has little boxes here that suggest feetness. And then we're going to rotate the arms down, and we're going to rotate the forearms and bend at the elbow, and then we can rotate here and bend at the elbow. And now we slide this whole thing to the side, and then right here there's this little panel that has the head, and blammo, there he is. Rob says Bludgeon was from the second movie. Oh, okay. I stand corrected. So, Bludgeon was from, I guess that was Dark of the Moon? I think? What was that? Revenge of the Fallen. Thank you. Okay, so, yeah, you're right. Third one was Dark of the Moon. So the Bludgeon that's really cool is the Revenge of the Fallen Bludgeon. Thank you, Rob. A toast to Rob. You've always got my back when I get these things wrong. So thank you. Maybe that'll cure that tickle, too. Maybe I should have said complicated, and then I'd get to drink and get rid of the tickle. Oh no, I just said... And then I splattered energon juice on my nose. So there we go. Let's go ahead and show him on the other camera because he is pretty cool. And oh yeah, I got to give him his gun. It's important to give him his gun because he doesn't have enough gun. So there we go. And I'll just kind of lean him up against this box. Maybe. He's not super stable, because you remember what I said about those feet? I'm trying here. There. Okay, yeah, we'll put him... So, there we go. There he is. And, come on. Come on. Work with me, Megatron... Or, not Megatron. Bludgeon. There we go. So... There he is, and he's actually a good-looking mold. Now, the stability on his feet is pretty bad, just because he's got no feet, and that would really help. But he does have fully articulated shoulders. Notice that he can move his arms in and out. He can move his shoulders up and down. He's got elbows that swivel around and go up and down. So, his arms are great. His legs, he's got ball joints at the hips. He's got knee joints. So he's a really great character to play with. He's just not a very good character to try and stand up in any kind of a pose because the feet just don't give him any stability. And this is something I've always been a fan of. This body style, the Gen 2 body is actually really cool. I love the dynamics of it. I love the big oversized chest that just is the front of a tank. It's, to me, this is very Megatron looking, and even though this is Bludgeon, I still like it because of how much it does look like what I can absolutely accept as another version of Gen 1 Megatron, even though, we're talking about Gen 2 Megatron. So yeah, I really like this toy. Yeah, the air cannon is absurd, and, if you can get your thumb in there, you can even use the little plunger thing with it still attached. Not that you really want to that often, it's a ridiculous gimmick, but he does have just a really nice, it's that nice balance between a simple enough conversion to be able to do it back and forth in quick succession, but there's enough going on to keep it interesting. And by the way, you can also, you can actually leave these panels open on his arms and attach the missiles here to give him some extra armaments. See, I said armaments, and they're on his arms. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. These lights are warm. It's, bad things happen. So anyway, yeah, that is Robots in Disguise Bludgeon. It seems like Bludgeon is doomed to always have figures done in lines that really have nothing to do with the release of the character. This guy's part of Robots in Disguise just because that was the branding they were using at the time that people recognized. The better version was done during Revenge of the Fallen because that was the main line of Transformers at the time. Neither character appears in the media that they are packaged to support. So, yeah. Interesting. Is it a conspiracy? No, it's not. So, we'll set Bludgeon aside, And let's take a look at another one of the stars of... I mean, this is one of the main characters of the Transformers Robots in Disguise line. One of the Autobot brothers, the only of the three that I bothered to buy because the other ones just didn't... They didn't get me, but this guy did, and I was on a budget back then. In Japan, he was known as Speedbreaker, and for Robots in Disguise, they named him Sideburn, so they named him after facial hair. And this is him. He is a Dodge Viper. And he is an incredibly sophisticated shell former. Very, very little of what makes up this car actually makes up his robot mode, but it's a really neat looking car. I mean, you look at him and they really, really went out of their way. And I think that this design, in fact, the designs of all the Autobot brothers, what it says to me is it really shows the influence of the Beast era on Transformer design. Because you didn't have a lot of shell formers during the Gen 1 line. And you didn't have, and likewise, you didn't have that a lot on it during the Gen 2 line. It was only during the Beast era that you saw heavy use of kind of a cosmetic shell that would make up the alt mode with a folded up robot inside. I think I still have a rat trap around here on the table from when I didn't get to him last time. But he was a shell former. You look at Big Convoy, who turned into a woolly mammoth. He was a shell former. Even Megatron of that line was largely a shell former. And I just dropped his gun. Wait. I got his gun back. So you now have a whole new design aesthetic and a whole new approach to solving the problem of how do you make a robot turn into a car. And so they're taking what they learned from Beast Wars and they're applying it creatively to vehicle transformers, and the result is this. And here, I'm going to put his gun back here. So he's got integrated weapons. I'm just going to show you this, or I could show you on the other camera. I can do that too, because, we can do stuff like that. So you can see that the gun is tucked in here. It makes up the back bumper. The missile is actually designed. This is one of the rare cases that gun does not want to stay, but the missile is actually designed to peg in. And that's unusual. Very oftentimes, even if Transformers weapons were integrated and there was storage available for them, the missiles were very oftentimes not. Now, I remember I was reading the wiki article on Sideburn here, and it talks about how his gun is able to connect to him in both modes. I have figured out that what they meant when they said that is not that the gun can attach in car mode or in robot mode. What they meant is that whether he's using it as a knife, which means that he holds it by this peg and holds it upright, or as a gun, which means that he holds it by this peg and holds it horizontally, you can still attach this gun to his back in robot mode. In vehicle mode, they do not have a specific place for this. However, what I have been able to do, because I was searching for it, it's not in the instructions anywhere that I could find. Yes, I looked up the instructions online, but I was able to take advantage of that little notch in the end and just sort of clip it on there. It doesn't like to stay, but you can store the gun there, and then he has weapon storage, although I think that the gun is kind of keeping his wheels from touching the ground. So that is something, but the vehicle mode is really awesome. It looks great. And this is just such a neat toy. Once again, this is another one that I saw it, and I had to make a choice over what I was going to eat that week and whether I was going to get this toy. And so thank you to whoever makes ramen noodles and big bags of potatoes. Because you have allowed me to show this on the internet. Thank you. And God bless America. So, Sidebird is a fun character. He is known on the show as being the brash, impulsive, young Autobot that seems to have a fetish for red sports cars. Throughout the show, every time a little red sports car would drive by, he would start hitting on the sports car, which at least half the time seemed to be being driven by Kelly here. So, and she would oftentimes wreck them. She must have the best auto insurance. That's all I can think of. So we got out another red sports car. This is Breakdown. And wait, no, not Breakdown. Is it? It's Prime. Was he Breakdown? No, Breakdown is no. Gosh, you know, the star of the Prime series, probably the most popular character from that series, and I'm pulling a complete blank. Please help me, internet. Knockout, thank you. So, Knockout. So, I feel like, I'm just going to say it, I feel like Knockout and Sideburn, they would be a thing. I feel like, you know, Sideburn would be a sucker for his sporty redness, and Knockout would be a sucker for somebody who's a sucker for his sporty redness. So yeah, those two, I feel like they would get along really, really well. So let's go ahead and turn him into a robot. I'm going to take off the missile. The gun has already fallen out of that little place I improvised. You're going to pull the gun out of the back. Now, this is a case where the weapon does make up a part of the car. You don't have the weapon, you don't have the part of the car, but at least if you don't have that gun, he still looks like a car. You know, it's not like the entire back hood comes off and becomes a shield, and if you don't have it, it suddenly looks like half a car. It's just kind of missing its taillights. So, you know, I'm okay with that. It really doesn't bother me. It's and I appreciate when they integrate weapon storage. So that's pretty cool. Let's open the doors, and that's something else that is cool about this car mode. You can open the doors. You can't put anything inside because there's all this robot junk inside, but you can open the doors, and that's cool. We're going to also, you see this division right in the front bumper? We're just going to pull the front bumper forward just like that. And that's going to open up a lot of possibilities. Then the last thing that we're going to do here is we're just going to pull on the legs. We're going to pull out like this, and that's going to disengage the back fenders from the back window section here. And so now we can actually really start transforming this guy in earnest. We're going to take the hood and we're going to pull those up and away, and see, now the parts of the car, the shell, just starts going everywhere. And this guy isn't hard to transform, it's just getting all these big shell pieces to move around each other without too much difficulty. So we're going to lift those up, and so now you've got the front, which is on this hinge. Now, here's what's really interesting about this guy, and I admire the hell out of this. This is something that, from a design-wise, I would love to see more of, because it's very creative, and it makes it very interesting to transform this guy. He's got an asymmetric transformation scheme, even though he turns into a symmetrical alt mode. So we've got the one arm that is right here on the underside. So what we want to do is we want to pull that by the wheel. We're just going to pull the whole thing down like this. And you see how that's just pulling down here. And then the other side, the shoulder, is on this hinge. So we want to grab the whole assembly and pull it around like that. You see how that's moving against that? And now we can rotate the shoulder and the wheel's just going to roll over the hump here. And it's okay to roll it over the hinge. It's going to feel like it doesn't quite want to, but it will go. And then we can take the shoulder, and see, this is where this whole front grill thing gets in the way. So you can tip it back down and kind of twist it to get it out of the way. And then we're going to take this shoulder and tuck that wheel back in underneath the engine. You see how the engine's up here, the wheel is under there. And now, once again, this grill is getting in the way, so we kind of just do our best to maneuver it so that it's not. And we can now take the other arm, which is over here, and it's connected to the roof on this panel. And you see that little bit of that little linkage right there. Well, we're just going to rotate that up and out of the way, and then take this hood piece and get that as much out of the way as we can. So you see how a lot of the time transforming this is just moving the panels around so that they let you do the actual transformation steps. So now we're going to fold the body down, and the head's going to come up, and you can bring the head forward, and then we can do that. Now, you might as well at this point go ahead and pull the legs down and pull out the feet. And so the leg bends at the knee and then bends at the ankle, and so that gives you the robot legs. Now here's where the other arm is. It's way in the back like this. So what you're going to have to do is swivel at the waist. Just do that. Turn his waist 90 degrees. And then you take the arm here, and it's on this panel here. Can you see that? You see that panel? Well, you pull that out, and then that is going to go down. And you see this pivot point right here? It's going to swing around into the front. And now you can put the legs, the waist back into where it goes, and up, there goes one of those hood panels. And see, they're just on ball joints, so they pop in and out very easily, but they are just always in the way. So we snap that back in, and now you have this arm, and so you can lift up the body, take the arm on this panel, and you see how that goes like that. You put it up against, and now you close the chest, and now we can take the entire roof of the car, windshield and all, and we can rotate it around so that the Autobot is facing upwards. And that sort of gives him a riot shield. And now we're going to twist the arm at the bicep, bend at the elbow. We're going to move the other arm around so that it's in a more natural position. We're going to make sure that his face is facing forward. And now you can just sort of do whatever you want with these pieces in the back. They're here. You just kind of try to keep them out of the way. And then we have his one gun here, and he's got a missile that shoots. This was a good era for shooting weapons, by the way. And then we'll give him his other gun. Wait, here, we'll give him his knife. I never actually have him use this as a knife, so I'm going to go ahead and let him use it as a knife. So he's got his knife. He's got his gun. He's got knee joints, he's got ball joints at his ankles, he's got fully articulated hips, he's got shoulder joints and swivels at the biceps and elbows, so he's got a lot of posability. So there you go. There is Sideburn in his robot mode. Let's go ahead and show him on the other camera, and let's see if I can get him to stand up. Maybe he'll be able to stand up. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. And blammo. Yeah. So there he is. And when you get him into robot mode, he's a good-looking robot, except for the ridiculous amount of kibble that's hanging off of him. And you just kind of have to ignore it. Now, I'm okay with this as a riot shield, and, I can... stand up, Sideburn. Don't you fall over on me. And, I can live with this. It's sort of like a shield on the gun. This is really obtrusive. And, Transformers have been using car doors as wings for decades, but those ain't wings. That is not wings. That is just car fenders and doors. You just kind of try and hang them out of the way. So, he is a complete shell former. Cool robot mode. I like him. He was a fun character on the show, but his transformation sequence is awkward because of how much all of this stuff just gets in the way. I mean, you can even see it now when you're trying to pose him. Everything is just in the way. And there's no real good ways to get it out of the way. You just kind of have to move it around as you move him around, so that you can move his shoulders and get him to do stuff that you want him to do. So, a cool toy, but, I will admit that it was after I got him that I actually kind of lost interest in the other two Autobot brothers, because of the fact that he was just so awkward. And then you look at those other guys, and X-Brawn, he had like the entire front of a minivan that gave him this big long gorilla arm. And while I appreciate the asymmetry of it, it didn't exactly look cool. It was different, but it wasn't cool. And then you also had Prowl, who was essentially the vehicle mode from Red Alert in Gen 1, except with a completely white and black paint job. He was a police Lamborghini, which what is that cop doing to be able to afford a Lamborghini? I mean honestly, he yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about that. I'm just not going to say anything else about that. All I know is that if the cop on your block drives a police Lamborghini, I feel like there is something wrong going on. So, and for that matter, if your fire chief is driving around in a Lamborghini, I feel like there's something kind of crooked happening there. That's all I'm saying. So, maybe in other countries they pay police and fire chiefs a lot more. I don't know. But nonetheless, so that is Sideburn. Sideburn is, I do like him. I do like him. But even though I like him, doesn't mean that I can ignore the fact that all of the kibble, it's just awkward, and it kind of harkens to a time when they were experimenting with a lot of stuff, and in some ways that's really cool. Some of it works, and some of it isn't going to. And this, I feel like, is something that just didn't quite work as well as maybe it should have. But you know what? If toys like this hadn't existed, and, somebody loved them. I loved them. Well, I liked it. I was kind of here and there. But the Robots in Disguise line was wildly successful in the United States. And toys like this, I think, are a big part of it. And I feel like the young adult collectors like myself really appreciated the complexity of these designs and probably helped that line to succeed. So, that's Sideburn. So, let's take a look at another character that really had an amazing impact on the Transformers universe, because it's not like this is something that's rocket science. You know, this concept is probably one of the most obvious concepts in pop fiction, is to take your most beloved, your most pure character and do an evil version of that character. And that's what we get with Scourge. He is a black version of... Actually, a very dark blue version. Well, no, a lot of this is black, but he's got a lot of blue highlights. So he is a black, blue, and silver version of Laser Optimus Prime. He doesn't have any of the electronic components, but honestly, this toy looks way better than the original. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. This, you put this back next to Laser Optimus Prime. Laser Optimus Prime was black and gray with a little bit of blue, and the trailer was all just not a very good gray. It was just, your normal, here it's gray plastic, what do you want? And then it had that ridiculous sticker on the side that had a cartoon picture of Optimus Prime blowing up his name, because it had an explosion. It said Optimus Prime on it, and then you had the gray chest underneath and the stickers with stripes on them on the windows. And I repainted mine to make him more Gen 1 looking, and I liked it much, much better after I repainted it. But you put this side by side with the original Laser Optimus Prime, and this is just a million times cooler. I mean, look at that trailer. That's gorgeous. The chrome it's beautiful. And look, I can see my face in that. Wait. There it is. Look, I can see my face in there. Wow. Oh, that's so cool. And see, here's what's cool about it. It's reflecting off of my computer screen. So it's like clayception. So yeah, you got this beautiful, very, very realistic looking tanker truck. And man, I don't even want to transform it. This looks badass. And then you have the red tinted windows and the red tinted headlights. I mean, it looks evil. And that's what you want in an evil Optimus Prime toy. You want red windows and red lights and black and silver. You want to be able to see your face in the trailer or in the front grille as it's running you down in the night, and you're saying, "Why, Optimus Prime? Why? You used to be so nice." And then the voice comes echoing out of the engine compartment. "I'm not Optimus Prime!" And that's the last thing that you hear in your short life. Osaka Jack says, anyone else think the Semi could be outfitted to have a goblin mask on the front from Maximum Overdrive? Yes. I was absolutely thinking, and wait, we can do a thing. Okay, this is something that we can do because we have the power of the Black Magic Mixer. Blam. Wait. There it is. Yes. So Monaco was able to, boy, that thing just kind of creeped me out when I saw that. I didn't even understand why. I mean, who puts that? You're a toy company. You really put the Green Goblin's face on the front of your tractor trailer? I mean, that's nightmare fuel. But yeah, boy, I never realized just how similar that truck was to Nemesis Prime. I feel like that should happen. Like, we need an upgrade kit. That is what we need. maybe I'll design something in Tinkercad and like make the files available or something like that. I don't know. Maybe or one of you can design an upgrade kit so that we can turn Scourge into the vehicle for maximum overdrive, because boy, that does have to happen. So nonetheless, let's go ahead and let's do some transformy stuff here. So for starters, you kind of pop the front loose, and then there's a button here. There's a button that does stuff. I think that it's like was it right there? And then, oh yeah, something. It's trying to do something. I don't think that the springs are quite what they used to be. So let's do that. And then we have that. And then we have another one of those air cannon things. And I think, let's see, they're supposed to be, oh, this. So, oh, wait, you can't see. There we go. So let me, let me do this. That might help. And we have this little gun that went to market. It clicks in right here. And Dudley says rare, which is important. And we have that. We have this. And I want to say that this back section also comes down. Oh, there it is. I was supposed to do that. Okay, wait a minute here. Let me undo this because I want to get the full effect. I was doing it wrong. So here, let me take that off. All right. So move these out of the way, and then it goes. There we go. Sort of works, almost. And now we can take this, and we've got our missile launchers, which shoot an array of missiles, and they gave you extras. Now, the inside is actually filled with a whole bunch of extra missiles. I don't know if you can see them. Right here. So, see, you have a whole bunch of the extra missiles. So, even if you lose these, then you got more, except that I've worked really hard not to lose these. And this also came with discs. Let's see, I have discs in one of these things. One of these bags has discs. Ah, here we go. Okay, so we've got discs. And you see, I've also got my little Spy Changer version of this character. So, yeah, we got our anti-Autobot discs that I have put together with a twist tie. And we'll just put these in the launcher here. Dudley still says rare. Yeah! He is in a mood. And then let's see. What happened to Kelly? Did I lose Kelly? I think I lost Kelly. Oh, what was that? Plunger. Yeah, I did knock her over with the. But I thought that I still had her. I don't know. Kelly's missing. Fortunately, however, I do have another volunteer. Oh, you found her. Okay, that's good. Okay, so here we go. We have Kelly, and Kelly could be like right here, and this is going to be great. Here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. These things fly great. And then if she gets up from that, then we can have her standing right here. There we go. And then, yeah! And look, I didn't even lose that missile, so I can put it back. And then you've also got this, and it comes with an air missile. And I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm not sure that I trust these 20-year-old air plunger things. but we can try it out. So it's in the back of the tower here. Maybe. Can I get it out? It's in there. Ah, come on, come on! You can do it. Ah, okay. So there. Push down. So we have to. Wow, the rubber feels sticky. That's not a good sign. All right, so there we go, and then you go like that. Yeah, that's not terribly surprising. So that is the base mode. It's a good base mode. You know, this is a neat battle station, and the version for Optimus Prime is equally neat. It's got all the same features. With the additional advantage that you can there's the light up fist that works with the fiber optic aspects of the gun and the sword. So, you know, his fist will light up, and then it'll make the sword glow a little bit, and it'll make the gun glow a little bit. But it's only one fist. But this version doesn't have any of those features, so they're just clear parts, pink parts. So yeah, we have that. It is a neat battle station, and with a lot of play features, and it's big. It's kind of too big for my table, but nonetheless, we do have that. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that's a thing. And so let's go ahead and take a look at Scourge in his truck mode, and so he's pretty easy to transform. I'm going to take it back onto the main camera. So we've got this. You pull out the legs, you flip out the feet. The arms come out from the side like this, and then you pull the shoulders down and then turn them up like this. So he's got huge shoulders, and then you bring the arms down this way, and now you open up the little door in his stomach, and that's where the head is. And then you're going to just there's a little tab here that you can press on to get his head to pop up, and then you turn it around, and now we give him a sword. And if you want, you can even take that gun off and have him hold the gun. And so there you have him in his robot mode. You know, it's even still got the button, but it doesn't do anything. So yeah, no light up gimmicks. The headlights in Prime would light up, and there would be that one LED in the fist. Now, this figure is kind of famous for a couple things. For one thing, this is probably the first time that we see Optimus Prime evil. You know, an evil version of Optimus Prime. I've never been a huge fan of the name Scourge as this guy. You know, later this concept would be taken over by the name Nemesis Prime, and I mean Nemesis Prime. That stuff writes itself. So, you know, they obviously hadn't come up with such a great idea for a name, and instead they called him Scourge, which, you know, they wanted to hold on to the IP from the Gen 1 character, I'm sure, but you know, this is the forefather of every other Nemesis Prime. The other thing that this toy is famous for is having the absolute worst box art photo ever. They took this cool toy and transformed him wrong and put him on the box art. Do we have that? Okay, and it's ready to go? All right, so let me just put him here so that we can put him in front of his thing, and you can see. All right, so here he is, and yeah, we'll put him behind so that you can see him like interacting with his battle station. So there he is. He's behind his battle station. He's got his gun. He's got his sword. He's got his big, massive shoulders that say, "Hey, I'm a big butt kicker, and you are in trouble if you are seeing me." And then this is the art, or this is the box photo right here. What were they doing? I mean, for one thing, they've done some Photoshoppery so that it looks like his base mode is dinky, and they have his shoulders in droopy dog position. I don't know what they were going for there, but the lesson to be learned here is don't let the person who answers the phone set up the shots for your packaging. That's what I think that we need to take away from this. His legs aren't extended either. Yeah, Monica just reminded me that, yeah, look, they didn't pop out the legs. So he's shorter than he's supposed to be. His arms are droopy and long and set. I mean, wow. Were they even trying? And where's the quality control? Like who looked at that photo and said, "Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, yeah, great." I mean, I guess it didn't stop us from buying the toy, but wow, that's bad. Oh, so yeah, so that is Scourge, the original Nemesis Prime, and that's pretty awesome. Now, I do have a black version of Big Convoy, and that is also Nemesis Prime. It is a repaint of Big Convoy from one of the Japanese Beast lines. It was Optimus Primal as a woolly mammoth. And I have to say, I've seen the Prime version, and it's a brown woolly mammoth, and it looks okay. But I love the black version. And I'm imagining that actually came after this. But that, to me, is Nemesis Prime. But this is what started it all. And I feel like a black evil version of Optimus Prime was inevitable. Even the name Nemesis Prime is kind of inevitable. But this is the first time that they did it. And that in itself is pretty cool. Now, we also have a Spy Changer version of the character. And he's just a little truck here. So I'm gonna put down the robot here, and let's go ahead and go to the other view here. So here he is, and the Spy Changers were kind of cool because they were made to be compatible with Matchbox toys and Hot Wheels. And so they had very rollable wheels, and so much so that they were intentionally designed to be able to be used with the various racing sets that they had. So you could get those tracks for Hot Wheels toys, and they would have like the little spinning motor things that on either side that would shoot the cars through and make them go through loop-de-loops and stuff like that. Well, these toys were intentionally designed to work with those things, and the original design of these toys actually dates back to the Transformers Generation 2 Gobots line, believe it or not. So this you'd have your guy, and you extend it out, and they had very simple transforms. This one has a pretty simple transform. You split the hood and just move those down, and then you have the arms bending at the elbow, and then there's the head's just up in here, and you kind of need fingernails or something. Although, fortunately, Dawn got me spudgers And so I can use a spudger here. I can get a... Maybe I can use a spudger here. This calls for a spudger. Oh, come on. You can... Don't make me look bad, Scourge. Nemesis Scourge. Nemesis Scourge Prime. Oh, gosh, you're making me mad. I can't get the head out. I feel like that statement is gonna follow me a lot longer than this episode, but I cannot get the head to pop out. So, yeah, not even using a spudger. Okay, the head's in there. There it is. Wait here, let me shift camera views. So the head's in there. That's him. Oh, wait here. Is Dudley gonna help? Because Dudley has been so upset. Have you been upset, buddy? Sweet kitty. Yeah, you don't like it when I talk to the camera for a long time, do you? Yeah. I love you. Yeah, I love you. Sweet kitty. Do you want down now? All right, here. Right here. There you go. There you go. All right. So, now that Dudley's been here, Nemesis Prime will... Oh, wait, here. Let's try a little bit of... There we go. All right. So that is tiny Scourge. And, you know, it's actually a really good representation of the character. He looks great for such a small guy. And, you know, it's funny to me because Hasbro created the Gobots line in part... Well, yeah, they probably were already going to make the toys, but they used the name Gobots because they had acquired the rights to Gobots. And so, of course, the first thing that they need to do is take ownership of it by actually applying it to products. So you have this line of little matchbox-sized transforming characters that are named Gobots, and you look back to 1983 and 1984, the original Gobots were little matchbox-sized characters that transformed. Usually, a lot of them had a lot more complexity than the Spy Changers, but it was the Gobots from Generation 2 that were the basis for the Spy Changers in Robots in Disguise, which later became the basis for this, which I think was a Transformers Universe toy by the time this came out. But nonetheless, it is absolutely a Spy Changer version of Robots in Disguise Scourge. So that's pretty cool. I need to get this base here. Oh, there goes those discs. Okay, so we've got this base here, and I will deal with the base's baseness later. Oh, there's another one of those discs. All right, lots of discs all over the place. I'm going to take the disc so that I remind me that these are next to Bumblebee on my desk. All right, so, and we can just take this and we'll just put this right back here. Oh, yeah. Right back here. There we go. All right, is that good? Okay, thank you. So, whew. That thing's big. So, that was Scourge from Robots in Disguise, our first evil version of Optimus Prime ever. That's pretty cool. And so I'm noticing that Angry Vikings is saying, I think a real Nemesis Prime would cause pause for even Autobots as her judgment would be swift. I don't know, Prowl, however, would probably love her in spite of all her war crimes. So, I'm sorry, were you waiting on that one? Okay. Okay, so anyway, a toast. I just happened to notice that come up. Anyway, so next on our list, we have the Car Robots Super Fire Convoy from 2000 was turned into Optimus Prime of Robots in Disguise. That's him right there. And he looks great. You know, this is an excellent vehicle mode for him. This would become a theme for a while. In Gen 1, Prime was always some kind of a tractor trailer. But in Robots in Disguise, we see Prime for the first time as a fire truck, and it kind of works. It's it's a great concept. Now he's got lights and sounds, which is important. So he's got that. He's also got missiles, and all of these fire, by the way. And you know what? I don't want to fire them. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to do it. They're gonna fire, and then I'm gonna have to try and find them, and they're not even in a position where I can have them shoot at wheelie. So at that point, I mean, why? So yeah, but we do have all of these missiles. I believe that in the Japanese version, this was designed so that as soon as you deployed the missile launchers, they would just automatically fire. We also have these cannons here in the front that are spring-loaded, and so that's pretty cool. The whole ladder assembly pivots up, and you've got this pivoting thing so that you can have him like doing fire truck type stuff where he's putting out fires and spraying water and stuff. And even in the cartoon, you saw him spraying water out of these cannons pretty often, except using it as a weapon. I'm not sure how effective water cannons would be against, say, Megatron, but I mean, they use it at riots, but it's not like very nice. So anyway, so yeah, we've got a really great looking fire truck here. He's got rubber tires, and he's got knobby wheels in the back. I mean, it looks like a realistic fire truck. Except that it does have some visible robot stuff happening in here. Of course, this version of Prime does actually separate, which fire trucks generally do not. And it separates right here. So there's a couple little things that kind of hold it together. Yeah. And see, then he talks while you squeeze him. So let's... Here, it's actually easier to separate them like this because these hang on a lot, but they do. Okay, there we go. We got that one off, and we got that one off. So, thank you, Optimus Prime. He's making noises. So, then these are supposed to just stay on the back like this, and you actually saw pretty often in the show that the robot would transform, and in the first episode he actually he has Kyoji, the human character from the show, in here, and they show him being relocated into the back section, and then he separates and he drives off like this. Now I'm sorry, I appreciate that they have thought about this enough to make the pistol have a little wheel on it so that you can have a vehicle mode for just the front robot. But this is ridiculous! This is this is not. I know it's a robot. It's from another planet. It can do what it wants. But this is not a vehicle. This is half a vehicle. The rest of the vehicle's back there. And if you don't have the rest of the vehicle, no. I appreciate that they thought about, that they did this. But would it have killed him to have, like, I don't know, to have done something to make this, I don't know. I mean, it's a great toy, and they did a lot of great things with it. It would have changed the design entirely to put more truckness here. But this is not a vehicle. I'm just gonna say it. This is not a vehicle. This is the front part of a vehicle. Nonetheless, at least in the show, they owned it. They absolutely had him launch himself, and he was, like, rolling around. He didn't do it for very long. He transformed pretty soon after that, because, honestly, that's embarrassing. But nonetheless, they did it. And so they showed in the show that he could do it, and that it was an acceptable thing. And so I will respect the fact that they owned it, that they didn't shy away from it. They didn't pull any cartoon magic. They just did it. And it looks like Matt White is here. Welcome, Matt White. You are just in time to see us transform the front part of Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime, aka Car Robots Optimus Prime, or Fire Convoy, or whatever the Japanese name was. So, alright, so with this guy, what we're going to do is, first we're going to take out the little gun, because we don't need the little gun when we're turning him into a robot. And then we're going to pull the front, and you see how it just pulls away from the front like that. And then we can pull those around. We can separate the legs, and then we take the panels on the back of the legs here, and we flip around the feet, and then we close that, and then we open that panel, and we flip around that foot. And then we close that. And then I really like what they do here. They take this panel and they fold it around the front and around like that. And then we can twist this to face forward. So let's see that again. We're going to fold this around there like that. And then fold it right there like that. And then twist it forward. And that's going to give us the front of the legs, which actually look pretty awesome. And then now on the cartoon, they always had these things kind of angled up, sort of like little wing type things. I never liked that. I always put them down like this. When Monica plays with this toy, she puts them up like this. So because I love my wife, I'm putting them up like that. But this is only for you, sweetie. So we pull the arm panels down, and then we pull them around to the side like this, and then we can twist, and we can twist. We can take the whole body up like this, and you see he's really, really tall, and see, he says stuff, and when he says stuff, then the lights flash. So, that's pretty cool. And I have to say, whoops, I really like this robot mode. I think he looks great. I love how they managed to take a boxy fire truck and turn him into this anime-tastic version of Optimus Prime. This is a great looking Prime toy. And he looks like himself, even though he's very, very different from any incarnation of Optimus Prime that we ever got before. He's got swoopy angles around his helmet, and, you know, the chest is completely different, but it does have that iconic two-window design, even though these are now no longer two rectangles. They're those shapes. So, Angry Vikings says the wings go up to show he's the leader. Must have wings or smokestacks. Okay, you know what, Angry Vikings? I will accept that. A toast to Angry Vikings. Let's go ahead and show this guy on the other camera. Oh, wait, let me adjust the feet. The feet are on ball joints, by the way. Because, and that really helps to make him very posable. He's got fully articulated shoulders and elbows, and even the hands. Well, the hands don't really do anything, but they're there. Matt White says, haven't been able to catch a live stream in a while. It's good to watch again. Good figure to see, too. Thank you for joining us again. We have missed you, Matt White. So I'm really glad to see that you're back, and I hope that you can catch us again soon. So, welcome and thank you to Matt White. So let's just go ahead and put him on the other camera, and we'll do well, don't fall over. He wants to fall over. I'm trying to keep him from falling over. So there we go, and there. All right, and mixer view, there he is in all of his Optimus Primeness. He looks good. You know, this is, I love the metallized, the shiny vacuum metallized parts on the chest. I love what they did here. This looks fantastic. He's just a cool figure. And the fact that he's so posable makes him a lot of fun. Just a ton of fun. Now, we've also got the trailer section here, which was used a lot in the show. And he had these pieces, which actually become, you know, the whole thing comes apart and becomes armor for him. So let's go ahead and put him in his battle armor mode, because that is important. So let's see. I think I need to do this on the other camera. So I'm going to grab him, and so we have this, and see, it has those two holes there. Well, that's just going to peg into these two Minicon ports, which, yeah, by the way, he's got Minicon ports 2 years before Armada. Oh, and you're grabbing Minicons. Well, thank you, sweetie. See? My wife loves me and brings me Minicons, even though I didn't know we needed them. But there we go. Yeah, he can wear Minicons. Wait, here, this guy needs to be a shoulder cannon. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've got a shoulder cannon for a submarine, and I've got this on my arm. Oh, we're going to give him 3? Because we can. So, look at that. So, 2 years before Armada, he comes decked out with Minicon ports. We don't know why. You know what, Rob? If you know why, I would love to be a fly on the wall to know exactly how that ended up happening. Of course, Armada was in development, so who knows? There could have been some design carryover, but yeah. All right, so we've got this panel, and it pegs onto the side here. And I really like how this works. This is actually really cool. You take this and you open it up, you fold it around, and you close it, and boom, he's got a big arm, big old hulky arm. Now you can also pull out the shoulders, which is important when you start putting the chest pieces on. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take this, peg it on, open up the panels, fold that right around. That's going to expose the super robot hand. And what I also appreciate about the show is there were times when he would just, like, grab a fist and he would punch a Predacon with his hulky fist, or he would shoot the fist as a missile, pretending that he's Transor Z or something. So, you know, they really embraced the representation of the toy. They didn't have to make up stuff that it really couldn't do, like you saw a lot of during Gen 1. I mean, hey, I love Gen 1, but they made up crazy stuff that the toys absolutely were not intended to do. You know, like all that stuff that Omega Supreme would be shown doing, where it's like his track would be used to span a bridge. That track couldn't span a bridge. It was in a permanent oval. But in the show, it could span a bridge, and the tower could ride the track. The toy couldn't do that. You know, Huffer pulling Prime's trailer. It really didn't work well. Now, what we all did was we pulled out one of Huffer's legs in vehicle mode, so that the little triangle on the back of the heel would sort of catch onto the hole on the underside of Prime's trailer, and you could sort of get it to go, but it didn't really work. It didn't work until just this year when they came out with Kingdom Huffer. So that's the difference. In Robots in Disguise, they took the stuff that the toys really did and they showcased it. And that's kind of awesome. By the way, something else that's kind of awesome is that Grayscale is here. And I think that I've killed my drink. Oh, thank you. So yeah, we got Prime with his hulky arms, and let's here, we'll set him down. So now we have to take the shoulder pieces off, and let's see, it's actually easier if I just take the whole thing apart. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that off and pull that off. And now we have this section, which becomes the backpack and the chest armor. And you can see a super robot head there. And then we've got these things, which, there we go. They're just easier to pull apart when they're separate. And by the way, so you have these things, and these can even peg on to the shoulders right here, which is another thing that you get to see in the show. So, you know, he can use these as big shoulder mounted weapon things. But when you're going into super robot mode, you take these things, and these things just click on right here, just like that. And see, there's a couple little nubs inside here, one there and one there, and they just engage these little holes that are on the shoulders here. So they just click over top, and now he's got super shoulders. And then you've got these things. These are the back ends of the trailer section. You're going to pull the foot down like this. It's going to point straight down, and then you're going to flip up the wheels. And you have to do it in that way, because if you pull the foot all the way out, this piece, this tab that connected to the other parts when it was in trailer mode, keeps the wheels from being able to fold in. So that gives you the foot, and then you open this little door here, and you open up that piece, and see, that exposes that little peg there. And that is going to, see, there's that little hole right there. That is going to go over that peg and allow this to fit there. And then there's the peg that's right here, and that's going to go into the hole that's right there on his knee. So now he's got a big boot. And then now we can do the same thing on the other side. We point that down, fold in the wheels, straighten the toe, open up the door, grab a spudger, and then open that up. And now we can once again take his foot, put it down on there, and then peg it on right there. And see, to me, at this point, he looks really awesome. Like, personally, this is my super robot Optimus Prime. Yeah, I like the out of proportion big hulking arms and legs, and he's still super posable, and yeah, his wrists move and his arms move, and he still looks like classic Optimus Prime, except anime-tastic. To me, this is where it's at. But we're not done. We're going to take the whole thing and we're going to go up like this. And actually at this point we can fold these things down. And then we take the chest here and we flip out this cod piece here. I don't know what else we can say that it is. It's a cod piece. And then, see, there's a couple little holes here and there, right there and there. See that? Right there, like that. So those are going to peg in there and there. And so we just have to fit those like that. Okay, thank you, Prime. He's telling us that he's maximizing. That's important. So we press that like that, and then you can have the body kind of collapse enough that the head is pretty much butting up against the inside of that panel. And now we close the chest, and you see how it's got these two little tabs there. Well, those are going to bite in to these little grooves on the insides of the windows there. And so that's going to do that. And now... Now the only problem is that there are some real weight issues. Thank you. He's making noise. So there are some real weight issues with this ladder at this point. Now the whole thing pivots like this to get it off center, and then you can do this, and then you can take the whole thing, fold this around, and make it into sort of a backpack thing. And that's necessary, because otherwise the weight of this thing just wants to pop the whole chest assembly off of him. Now, as seen in the cartoon, he can take this and use it as a gun, but while you do it, it's going to want to pull the whole thing off, and then you press that, and oh, it did fire missiles. It wasn't supposed to fire that. Oh, you found it! Okay, that's good. That's good. So you see, you got to see it fire missiles, and then it's still got the cannon there, and he can, like, you know, hold it up like this, like, okay, I'm firing my big shoulder cannon thing, which, you know, is really awesome. I mean, let's just take a moment to appreciate. That's really cool. That is just so neat, and I love the dynamic here. And yeah, it's too heavy to hold itself together, but it doesn't matter because it's just freaking cool. So we're gonna close these, and then we're going to take see how it wants to pull itself apart. Like I said, this ladder is a heavy piece. It is a very yes. Thank you, Optimus Prime. We know. So there we go. And we'll click those in, and then that gives us the super robot for Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime. It's really hard to hold him together. Like I said, that have I mentioned that the backpack is kind of too heavy for the rest of him. He struggles with it. But it is a great looking robot mode. a great looking super robot mode. And I have to say that it's really cool to see a robot mode where the figure is still fully articulated. You know, he's still got full motion on his shoulders and his elbows, and you know, he's got the guns on his forearms, and he's got knee joints. You know, he is still a really playable figure, and he looks great. So let me set him down here, and I'm going to put him on the other camera, and hopefully we can show him in all of his glory. And so let's see. Yeah, we want that view. And there he is. And we can also even take this gun, and there is a hole right here on his shoulder. So you can peg it in right there. And he looks great. I mean, he really does look great. And notice how they've taken design cues from Optimus Primal for the super robot face. You know, this whole big version actually looks, you know, with the hulking arms and the big shoulders, his form and his silhouette actually looks very, very characteristic of Optimus Primal. And I'm sure that that's not an accident. I think that, you know, obviously we are seeing this whole line is kind of a merger of the ideas of the Gen 1 line combined with everything that happened during the Beast era, and Transformers is reinventing itself. And this is such a perfect representation of how all of that heritage came together into this one design. That's really, really cool. Now, Matt White says, the only thing I don't like about this toy is how when the tires get old, they crack easily. Wish it was easier to find replacement tires. That is a problem. Something that I have tried doing with some of the rubber parts on my older toys is I have tried rubbing them down with a little bit of motor oil. Just kind of rubbing it in and then wiping off the excess. I honestly don't know if it'll help prevent cracking, but it's something that I've been doing with my car parts for years. I had a 2001 Saturn SC2, and I had that car for 11 years. I bought it when it was 5 years old, and I sold it when it was 16 years old, 17 years old, something like that. And every time that I changed the oil, I would take some of the used motor oil and I would rub it into all the hoses and all the plastic parts, and it would make them look nice and black. And I feel like the reason why even after 17 years, my engine looked brand new and I didn't have cracked hoses and I didn't have dry rot was because the oil was getting into those rubber parts and helping to keep them moisturized. So I don't have scientific evidence, but it's something that you could try, maybe. The last thing that I am going to show about this toy is that you have all these parts that make up the super mode, but they also become sort of a base mode. So let's go ahead and show that. And so we're going to take this and we're going to kind of turn it back into its sort of fire trucky looking thing. And we're going to straighten that out, and then we're going to put this up. Actually, I'm going to lean it forward just a little bit because it works better if it's leaned forward. And then you spread out these little panels here, and you, of course, can bring up this thing. And I'm going to set that in the background here. This is going to be interesting to show, but I'm going to show it. And we take these pieces off and these pieces off. And we can expose smaller Prime's head. We can take his large robot fists off. There we go. And set those aside. And take this large robot fist off and set that aside. And then disengage the leg pieces and pull those off. There we go. So now we've got Prime. We'll tuck in his shoulders. And we will just set him aside for now. And honestly, let's see if I can remember how to do this. I believe that these things stay like this. I think that this stays like this. And then we have this thing, which goes on like that. And then we have this part, which goes like that. And this part, you see that little peg there? Well, it goes into this little hole that's right there. And that goes like that. And then we have this thing that can go here. And this thing that goes there. And then if you really wanna, you can peg that in there. And yeah, you have those. There we go. And so that is sort of a that is the base mode. Let me try changing the camera view, and maybe we'll get a better view of this. Well, we can get a better view of the bottom, and with the other camera, we can get a better view of the top. So it's tall. What can I say? It's very tall. Let me try moving this back a little bit. Can I move it back? I can't move it back. Let's adjust that a little bit and change that. Okay, so there we go. We almost got everything in frame. There, I'll dip it down. So that is the base mode. You can have the little double-barreled cannons facing forward, and it's sort of a battle platform thing. It's just yet another thing that can be done. I don't know how much of that was designed with intent versus how much of it was, hey, what are we going to do with these pieces when he's in robot mode? Do we just want to have a trailer there? Or do we want to do something else? It's like, I think I got some, I think I got something with this. Yeah, let me see. I can put them together like this. Is that good? And it's like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, I think it was designed in Jersey. And, I don't know, maybe it was designed in Newark. But nonetheless, we do have a base mode so that you can take his armor and do this. And of course it does have this feature, which, that just never gets old. It just never does. So that is Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime, and I will just set the base mode off in the corner here. There we go. And that brings us to Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus. Let me tell you, Ultra Magnus, this toy, when I saw it in the store, I just wanted it. I wanted it like I hadn't wanted something in years. Now, sadly, this version is starting to yellow with age. And that really is kind of heartbreaking, because you look at it, and this is a beautiful toy. I mean, this is a cool looking truck. And even now, all of the shiny bits are still shiny. And I love the dynamic angles on the cab. And you've got this big weapon thing that that can go on here, but it doesn't have to. We can take it off. Oh, it shot. It shot something. Oh, yep. Okay, wait, here, I found the missile. So, we've got firing missiles. Also, this thing was designed so that you could take Sideburn. Let's see, do I have Sideburn here? I put him somewhere. I put him in a good place. Okay, well, you could take the 3 Autobot brothers, and you can actually carry all 3 of them in Ultra Magnus. Sideburn has run away, probably because I was talking crap on his transform. But, we've got Blur there. We've got Knockout. So, here, let's do this. We'll put Knockout in here. So, yeah, we'll have Knockout in there. And then we'll have Blur up here. And, who else we've got? We've got Bludgeon, so let's just take Bludgeon here, and we'll just very quickly turn him back into a tank. And we will do that by putting in the shoulders and flipping around the legs and the knees and everything. And there we go. So there we go. We've got Bludgeon. And so, look at that. Look at that. That is cool. See, this is what a car carrier toy is supposed to be able to do. You can carry cars with it. Hello? So, okay, you know what? I know I already did this once, but I need everybody to back away from your cameras. Just for a moment. I promise I will keep this short. But, hey Hasbro. About your current version of Ultra Magnus, which you've been milking for several years now. It doesn't hold cars. Hey, Hasbro, hello, are you there? Did you notice that your version of Ultra Magnus doesn't hold cars? You can't put cars inside the car carrier. It's a car carrier. Hasbro, are you, wait, is this thing working? Hello, no, don't go get a sandwich. You come back here, Hasbro. You come back. We're talking about Ultra Magnus here. He's gotta hold cars. If you're gonna make a car carrier, it's gotta hold cars. I'm not asking for much. I just want a car carrier that holds cars. You know what? Go get your sandwich, okay? I'm done. I'm done with you for now. I'm done. But your Ultra Magnus should hold cars. All right. So anyway, talking about Ultra Mag. Notice that this car carrier holds cars. It's cool, and it's got ramps in the back. Look at how these panels come down, and they make car loading ramps. Look at that. See? That's playworthiness there. That means that we can do cool things, and we can interact with it in fun and creative ways. And use the vehicle modes the way that they're supposed to be used. It's important. And it's something that has been really lost on the latest versions of both Prime and Ultra Magnus, because Prime was given a dinky trailer that barely fits a lot of the characters, and you can't put much in it, and it looks out of scale with the truck. And Ultra Magnus has all of his robot garbage inside here, and there's no way to get from the back inside, and there's no room for characters on the inside on the new version anyway. I guess you can stick something on top, and that's about all you can do. But you look at this guy, And this guy is beautiful. I mean, this is what making a car carrier toy is all about. And that's really, I mean, look at that gold Autobot sign right in the front. It's cool. And also, I'm going to point out that this is a version of Ultra Magnus that is not a white repaint of Optimus Prime. And it looks great. It is distinctive. It is distinctly his, he is distinctly his own character. It is a fantastic vehicle mode. I love this vehicle mode. And if they ever wanted to do like a commander scale version of this design, I would welcome it. Because, by the way, did I mention that the current version of Ultra Magnus is too small and it doesn't hold any cars? So, that being said, yeah, this is Ultra Magnus. Now, let me show you. There's other stuff that you can do here. So you can take this ramp, and by the way, you can even let me do this. You can even do this, so you can have the characters drive up the ramps to get up here. Look at that! I mean, look at that! That is cool! That is somebody really thinking about this design in all of its facets. So, all right. So enough with how cool that is. He can also take these ramps, go like this. You can take these panels here and separate them out. Disconnect them from the side panels here. Disconnect it from there. And now we'll just have the trailer over here. And now look at this. He's a rocket truck. And you know what? I'm just gonna point out he can also hold a car. So you've got, this is a vehicle mode. If you're gonna have a front section to your cab, to your truck, look at that. That doesn't look like it's missing anything. Now, let me just say, it doesn't look like it's missing anything. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But nonetheless, once again, even in this mode, the vehicle mode looks great. And I love it. And it's so play-worthy. This is just such a cool toy when you've got it in the vehicle mode. So let's go ahead and turn him into his robot mode. And you're going to see there are criticisms. Oh yes, there are criticisms. There's one criticism. There's one big criticism. We're going to get there now. So, or just in a second. So, to transform him, we're going to separate the backpack, which is a big sound box. Sound boxes were becoming kind of the thing in this era. And so, and especially during the Armada and Energon lines, you saw extensive use of sound boxes. Now, this one is configured very interestingly because you see these blue things on the sides here and here. Well, these have buttons here. And, that missile just keeps firing. I'm not trying to fire it, but and you have this thing, and in his various modes, you can attach this as a weapon, and then depending on how you have it attached, the sound box is supposed to make different noises. Now, as I changed the batteries and I was practicing, I'm not sure that feature is working in mine anymore because he seems to only say that he's Ultra Magnus and that he's transforming. So that might be kind of a lost feature at this point. Maybe the wires are broken, but whatever the case, it's supposed to do it. I don't think it's going to do it. Anyway, so you disengage that, and then you have the arms, which are here on these pivot points. Now the bumper, this big bumper thing, has these hinges on the corners, and the panels just swing out here, and then the whole bumper comes up and covers over the windshield. And then we've got... Now, see, this is kind of complicated. And yeah, you know what? I said it. I'm probably going to say it a couple times, so let's just go ahead and get the toasting out of the way. That's one. And let me do a couple more because it really is complicated. And a couple preemptives. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open up this little panel here. And it's got these little tiny flaps here that fold out. And then you've got, you can pull this up. We're going to take these little nubs here, and then we're going to swing them around this way, all the way around like this. And then you've got the head that's on this stick here, and this has to twist around like this. And so, you know, you've got all these parts that just sort of kind of flop around at this point. You're going to get the shoulders out of the way, and you're going to twist the head around, you know, twist the stick around so that the head is towards the back. And then you're going to close this up and close this down, and then you're going to turn the head to face forward. And then you've got these little things. And so you can now take these things and click them, and you try to get them to click in. There's this little tiny tab right there, and this little rectangular slot there. Ideally, it should click in. Sometimes it doesn't want to, but in a perfect world, it will click in. There, you heard it click. You heard it click. And then you take these and you twist them up like that. And then we spin the forearms around, and you've got the fists, and you can actually, it's got a posable thumb, and the fingers are all molded as one piece, but it means that he's got grippy hands, which is awesome. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And then we have that up against there. And now we have this, and so this is a maneuver. You're going to take the tracks here, and you're going to split them apart like this. You see how these things allow them to kind of slip like that, and then you're going to press one down and leave one up, which allows them to rotate around, or actually just rotate out, and then that allows you to flip the whole thing over. And now you're going to position them up at an angle to make robot wings. And now you can push this one back in to kind of get it to re-engage like that on the other side of these two linkage pieces here. And that gives him his backpack. And now he's most of a robot. I didn't know when I bought him that he transformed like this. And I love this toy. I do. But, and I get it, he's got a combination feature with Optimus Prime that requires that you remove the legs. But I really wish that I didn't have to remove the legs. And just so that you know, you have to remove the legs to transform this toy. There is no keeping the legs attached and just doing regular transform moves, because if you remember, these things were folded up inside here to where the rest of the legs aren't. So, no matter what, you have to remove the legs of the robot to transform him. Like I said, it doesn't look like he's missing something, but he is. He's missing his legs. So, we now have the otherwise wonderfully designed trailer section. And I do like this trailer section. It's so good. Why couldn't it have stayed attached? But, okay, so we're going to pull these halves apart. And we're going to pull that up. And now this is also a little bit, I mean, it's not too complicated. I already drank for that one. But it's kind of funny. So we can fold that around there so that it's to the side. And then we take the whole thing here and flip it around this way, and then this panel's going to go up and then down. Or no, it's going to stay down like this, but then this panel's going to come up and it's going to go against here, and then this piece is going to fold down, and that is your robot leg. That is, and here, this is the other thing. We take this, and you see how this is the connection point. Notice that it's inside here where the rest of the robot isn't. So it has to go up like that. And that's one robot leg. And so, we've got this. We're going to do it again. We're going to open this. We're going to swivel this around this way. We're going to take this. And we're actually going to take the whole thing and pivot it around like this. It pegs in at the bottom right down here, and then we're going to take this panel, fold it up against here, and then we're going to fold this down against here and take this nub here, and that goes up like this. And now we can unite Ultra Magnus with the legs that he so desperately needs. And there he is. And he's tall. He's a big guy. I've seen him transformed differently. It's not the correct transform, but you can kind of fold up the legs here to make them shorter. But I like him tall. I think that he looks good tall. He does have some hollowness up here in the body. There's a lot of places that you could kind of see through. But overall, he's got a really nice robot mode, and he's got great articulation. I actually tend to have these things kind of tipped forward like this, and so he can do stuff like that. He's got the opening and closing fists, which if you open them too much, it'll just pop right out, so you don't want to lose that, and that's a choking hazard right there, so don't eat that. And so, he can get into cool poses, and, you've got a swivel here where his leg detaches. Did I mention that you have to take off the legs? Did I cover that? I just want to make sure that I didn't miss that. And so, he's got knee joints. Now, the insides of the legs are very, very hollow. They're very, very hollow. But other than the hollowness and the detaching legs, it's still a really, really cool looking figure. And then you've got the gun thing here that you saw it mounted to the trailer earlier. Well, you can also do things like this. You can swivel this way, and or actually you swivel this so that these ends go together like this, and then you can do that like that, and then turn that this way, and so now you've got this thing, and then you can take this and you peg it in. So you see how it's got two little square nubs there? Well, on this side there are two square holes in that blue piece, so you fit that in there, and then you can see there's a little peg here and there's a little hole on the inside of the wrist, so you can have him sort of hold on to his gun. And then presumably when he makes noise, if he makes noise, you get him to make noise. You try to get him to make noise. Why isn't he making noise? He's not making any noise. I don't know how to make him make noise. Oh, wait, here. Oh, it made the different noise! It made the different noise! So there's this little button down here, and... Yeah! Yeah! It makes a machine gun noise. So let's see if the other side works. It wasn't working for me last night. I'm excited. So, right here. So I'll take the arm out here, and then... Come on, get. So now this time I'm going to pivot this around this way, and I'm going to turn it down like that, and then I'm going to flip this around like that, and then I swivel this around this way. And by the way, you've got a little viewfinder too. You can, not that he needs it, but you've got that. And it's a ridiculous gun, but who cares, because it's awesome also. So, and then we peg that in right here. And then we'll put... Whoa! Okay, you know, that was bad. That was bad. He's heavy. He's got a lot of heaviness and some very, very tiny tabs that are kind of holding him together. But... So, alright, let's try this again. We're going to try this again. So we got the gun, and we peg it in here to the shoulder, right there. And you see this one has round nubs, so you don't get them confused. And then, once again, we have a peg here, and a hole on the shoulder, so we can have his arm come up, and it looks like he's holding it. And now, alright, let's see if it works. Oh, yeah! Yeah! Okay, that's awesome. It still works. I'm so happy. That's great. So, you know, they really worked in some amazing gimmickry with this. I mean, it's actually really impressive. And... you know, the gun is big and ridiculous, but it's also awesome, and it still has firing missiles that do this. So, you know, I mean, that is play value gold. So you have a really good robot mode. And yeah, it's got some hollowness that I don't like. So it's not a great robot mode, but it's still a good robot mode. It's got really great articulation. It's got really cool weapons and fun features, and a fantastic, absolutely fantastic vehicle mode. It's a shame that you have to take off the legs. I don't like that you have to, and you know, I understand the legs are part of the combining feature, which we are going to show in just a second here. But you know, when the rest of it is all just traditional transforming, and then you get to one part that requires parts forming, to me it just feels like a cheat. And you know, I have to kind of give them a pass, because they've achieved so much else with this toy. And I'm not even done showing the features, because this toy and this toy combine to make Omega Prime. Oh yeah, it's cool. It's real cool. And so let's go ahead and show that right now. And I'm going to start by one of the coolest features here. And this is something that they showed in the show, which, you know, kudos for the detail here. So notice that conspicuously Ultra Magnus has a peg for a thumb. Okay, this is cool. I mean, this is such a great detail. They didn't have to do this, but they did. And you know what, Hasbro, or Takara, you know what, because really this is a Takara thing. Takara, I love you for this. So when the characters, Okay, wait here. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna show this on the in the other view right here. So, okay, when the characters shake hands, you take the thumb, you peg it into Prime's fist, and now you can take apart. You can open up the panels on his arm. Okay, I'm going to set him down. Okay, so now they're shaking hands, and now Ultra Magnus's arm spins around at the wrist, and then the panel collapses around Prime's arm. Right here. Let me line it up. Okay, there we go. We lined it up, and then we do that, and we do that. And that gives Prime his Omega Prime arm. And then I'm not going to make you sit through having them shake hands again. I'm just going to pull the thing off. But again, on the other side, you have them shake hands. And you just peg into the thumb, rotate 180 degrees, and then fold his arm around Prime's arm. That's cool! I mean, come on! They shake hands! They form an emotional bond, and they agree to cooperate, and then they transform and merge. It gives me goosebumps. I've literally got goosebumps just thinking about it. Okay? That's really, really awesome. And that's freaking brilliant on the part of the designers. I mean, that goes beyond just making a toy function. That's telling a story in three-dimensional form. That's profound. That should be studied by scholars. But instead, you've got me. So we are going to extend Prime's body because the Omega Prime armor goes on pretty much the same as the super version of Optimus Prime. So I'm going to need to set him down in front of me, and then we're going to have to take pieces off of Ultra Magnus. So we are going to pull the legs off. And see, that's the thing, they do have to pull him apart to do the Omega Prime combination. So I get that they've already got this thing that's detaching. So do they need to make him so that he doesn't disassemble at all to transform? In my opinion, yes. But they did not. So we've got this. We can actually fold this back under, and then we're going to pull this panel out and pull it out again, and this gets weird. I'm just gonna say this gets weird. Dare I say, it gets complicated. And honestly, I think I need the drink in order to get through this transformation. So, alright, here we go. So, you've got the leg, and it's going to do stuff. We've got a foot down here. This is the Omega Prime foot, and it's going to go under here. Now, this is the front shin panel, so that's going to stay in the front. And then we've got this little panel that looks like a footprint. And this is going to just swing all the way around, and it's going to peg in there because Prime's foot is going to go on that. And then we're going to take this thing, and we're going to swing this little blue tab around here, and then we're going to take this here, like that, and then swing it around like that. It's looking like a thing. It is looking like a thing. And honestly, I don't know whether it's... I think that you can... I don't know that there is one way that's better with this flap. I think they work both ways. I'm going to put it in the back just in case it gets in the way of Prime's leg. So that is one Omega Prime foot. Let's go ahead and do it again. We're going to take the Ultra Magnus thigh and fold it down there. We're going to take this panel and we're going to bring it forward. We're going to take the Omega Prime foot and we're going to fold it up against that thigh. We're going to extend out the entire car carrier side and then unpeg it from the side. That's right, I said unpeg and I'm standing by it. We're going to take this tab here and then take the whole panel here, and you see how there's that little nubbin right there? It's going to go in that hole and plug in right there. And I'm just going to leave this panel facing the back of the leg. I'm going to bring the whole thing up, swivel it around this way, swivel it around this way, and then this is going to go forward, and we're going to do that. Now, I'm not going to peg these things in together because I'm going to need to peg them in individually as I attach them to Prime, which I might as well show you right now. So now we take the Prime foot, and you remember that hole on the underside of his foot? Well, it's going to merge up with this stud right there. And then that just fits right on there like that. And then we've got, you see that little hole right there? Well, this little panel here, it's got a peg right there. So we're going to stick that there and peg it in. And then we're going to take this panel here, and it's got that hole there. That is going to go up and peg in to that right there. If I can get it to line up. There we go. And so now we have one Omega Prime leg. Let's do it again. So now we take the foot, put it in the footprint, just like that. Take this little blue tab and peg it into the hole that's in Optimus Prime's shin. We take this panel. Remember, there's that little hole there. It's going to engage with that little peg right there. And now we have two Omega Prime legs and two Omega Prime arms. But wait, that's not all. Now we have the rest of Ultra Magnus. This thing is a mess. It is an absolute mess. It is complicated. I'm going to get red juice all over my new Retrobot shirt. That's great. I'm glad it's black. And so we're going to take Ultra Magnus's thighs. By the way, did I mention that Ultra Magnus's legs come up? Okay, anyway. So we're going to fold those back and just out of the way. We're just kind of just clicking these back. And you'll notice that there's kind of a flat side. The back side with the screws is the flat side. So that's the side that is always going to be up against the body of the truck. Because it is possible to rotate them around, and if you try to get them to fit the other way, they're not gonna, because there's all of this design stuff on the front. So just make sure that the flat side with the screws is always to the bottom of the body of the truck. Now we have the whole truck just has this pivot point here. Well, there is what we need to do. Okay, this is janky. I'm sorry, this is janky. So I'm going to first, you see how I made one of those wings pop away from the backpack away, and now I can do this. And I can just sort of get it out of the way. And then I've got Ultra Magnus's head, and it's on a stick. I'm just going to get that out of the way for the time being. And then I'm going to take the biceps, because he's just got, I mean, they don't even look like biceps at this point. They're just sort of these extensions that used to have arms attached that now don't have anything. And we're just going to kind of get those out of the way. And then we've also got these things, and these things are also just sort of in the way. Everything's in the way. So, you know, that's where, when you have a toy that's this complicated, so then things just, it's really hard to move stuff around without other stuff being in the way. So I'm going to get that stuff up and out of the way as best as I can. And now I'm going to take these red parts that have the wheels, and I'm going to spread those out by the sides. And I'm going to flip down these are actually shoulder covers. So, and by this point, the head will have popped out. Because as you mess with this, it's going to flop in and out, and that head is going to expose itself. And now we can take the arms here and just try and put them in a dropping down position. Just out of the way. They don't really go anywhere. They just sort of, you just kind of do your best to kind of make them not in the way. And so, just like before, now we take this, and you see you have these little pegs here, and oh wait, it's these holes right here, and here. Those are going to engage with the two holes on the top here. And also, wait, before we do that, we have to prepare for what's going to happen with the backpack. So, we want to flip Ultra Magnus's head around, and then maybe, I know it's hard to see. We're going to have him face the other direction, and then I believe that there's a little hinge here. There's a little hinge. And yeah, we can do that. We can fold it at an angle. You see how that's folded at an angle? You can just barely see it. And so that's going to allow the backpack to get around here. And now, once again, we can give him his Ultra Magnus robot wings and stick those like that. And so now, now you take this and you have to push the head in between those two supports, because we need this to be free of Ultra Magnus head in order to combine with Prime. So, we now have this, and we now have this, and we're going to take it all, and we're going to put it together. Maybe. Come on, you can do it, Omega Prime. You can do it. I know you can do it. Okay, I'm going to need to move the arms a little bit more out of the way. There we go. So, there we go. It's going to go down just like this. I'm going to try and make it so that you can see it. Yeah, you should be confused. What's happening is terrible. So, oh gosh, it's so hard to get it to do it. Ultra Magnus's head is in the way again. Alright, there we go, and there. Oh, we got it, we got it, we got it. Okay, it goes together like that. And now, Ultra Magnus's truck front closes against Prime's chest. And there we have Omega Prime. And I think that they always had these things out, you know, doing something like that. Now, personally, while I think this is awesome, and, you know, he's got the Autobot symbol on his chest, and, you know, he's got the big red Prime head, and, you know, it's a really cool combination. This is just a personal preference. I like it better with the truck. Just move it down and, you know, let it be a Ultra Magnus's truck front for his chest. I think it looks better, and it's cooler. And so that is Omega Prime. And oh yeah, you can have the wings out, so that's important. And then you can take this and you can combine it. You can sort of do, let's see. So let me put this in front of the other cameras. Going to do another camera here. There we go. And I will angle the camera up. Try and get it to where the camera can actually see what's going on. Maybe. Maybe. There we go. And so, all right, and that is Omega Prime. He's big. He's heavy. He is so heavy that it is really hard for him to stay together. He is posable. You know, his shoulders move, his elbows move, his hips move, but it's very hard to do much with him because of how heavy he is and how much stuff is piled on here. I mean, it's an amazing toy. Don't get me wrong. It is amazing what they achieved with this design. But it is very difficult to do much with him. Now, we have this thing. And we can, let's see, we're going to do that and then swivel that around there. And then you can actually connect these up here, which only makes him heavier. And see, you know, he's got his big thing up there. And let's see if that makes any different noises. Yeah! Okay, that is really cool. I mean, so there he is. You know, you have the ability for this thing to move around. But honestly, there's so much. You don't need to build onto this. It's heavy. It's kind of awkward. But gosh, look at this! And so, for all of the criticisms that I have of Ultra Magnus's legs coming off, and was there something else that I criticized about Ultra Magnus? It was mostly his legs coming off. This is amazing. And we haven't seen anything like this since. We've seen Combiner Wars, which had some I loved Combiner Wars. And we have seen a lot of retro stuff, and we've seen Titans, and we've seen Trypticon done amazingly. I mean, they will never do another Trypticon as good as the one that we got a few years ago. But I don't think that they're ever going to do this as well as this again. And in some ways it makes me sad, because I would love to see a modern take on this. Just to have a version of these toys that aren't yellowed with age, and maybe something that is maybe a little less complicated. Maybe. But nonetheless, it's an achievement. And you know, I have to admire, you know, as somebody who's a fan of combiners and a fan of atypical transforming solutions, and has always looked at Transformers as something that's not just an action figure or a vehicle toy, but to me, it's a puzzle. Each one is a challenge to be solved. And the reward is when you get a really cool figure at the end of it, or a really cool vehicle mode, or you unlock something that you didn't think was possible. You know, that to me is the reason, what makes it all worth the effort and the lengthy hours of trying to figure it out. It's this is the reward. And it's pretty darn cool. Pretty darn rewarding. So, yeah, I'm going to say worth it. So, I will set him down gingerly. And that's it! We are at 2 minutes till 11. You know, just to let you know, I had kept this in my back pocket. We're not going to get there tonight, but at some point we will get there. We've also got the rail team. Yes. But that's for another day. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me this evening. This has been a lot of fun. My attachment to Robots in Disguise is mixed because I didn't like the show when I saw it 20 years ago. I can appreciate it more now for what it is. It's silly. It's got its own brand of humor. I wish that the stories were a little bit better, and I wish that the Decepticons could be taken seriously. But, it is what it is. And I've been rewatching episodes and actually enjoying it more, I guess, with older eyes. But yeah, this is not the last time that we will be strolling down the Robots in Disguise memory lane, because I feel like the Gen 1 cow has been milked pretty thoroughly at this point, and I expect for us to start seeing legacy stuff from these other series. The children, the people that were children when Robots in Disguise came out, the people who, for them, that was their first taste of Transformers, and that's what made them fall in love with it. Those people are now adults, and they presumably have money to buy toys for their kids or for themselves. And so I kind of feel like Hasbro's going to be looking to them, and we're going to see stuff that reaches into the archives of Robots in Disguise and Armada and Energon. And I welcome it, because there was some fantastic stuff from those eras. Some annoying stuff, too. We can talk about that later. We're a small channel trying to get bigger, so if it's not too much trouble, please, 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 if you've had fun tonight, give this video a thumbs up. If you like this channel, you like this stuff, please subscribe, click the notification bell, and comment. Comment on the videos, because YouTube loves that, and it will help us grow. We have been doing a series of Short Circuits videos all about Final Faction, the series of action figures designed exclusively for Dollar Tree. I love them. Spoiler alert. I love them. They're short videos. I hope that you enjoy them. And please, throw in your comments on those as well. We've also got a Discord, which I mentioned earlier. If you'd like to join our Discord, there is an invitation link that will last for a week in the description of this video. Also, there's a link to our TeePublic page where you can get stylish t-shirts like these, or, like these, or, other stuff that my wife designed, and she's amazing. So, yeah, that's cool. Next Friday, we are doing Masters of the Universe as viewed through the lens of Mega Constructs. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And so, with all that being said, let's give a big toast to all of our people that have joined us in the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you, because, honestly, if it's not for you, then what the heck are we doing this for? So, with that being said, a toast to Rob, and Joy, and Dawn, and Colleen, and Starhound. Big toast to Asher and Michael Spicer. A toast to Canadian Ranger. A big toast and a huge thank you to Osaka Jack for our plush wheelie. I'm blown away and kind of humbled that you would do that for me. Thank you, sincerely. I really appreciate it. I love it. So thank you, Osaka Jack. A toast to Entertainer 13. A toast to Christopher Renly. Big toast to Angry Vikings. A toast to Setoyami. Always a toast for hope. A toast to Matt White. Thank you for being able to join us again. Hope to see you soon. And a toast to Grayscale. By the power of Grayscale, I am toasting you! See, it got echoey as the glass got closer to my mouth. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you again. And this is Clay saying, keep it Retrobot! Woo! And we made it out in just over 3 hours. I don't think that's bad. So, yeah, we did that. And I got strangely complicated toys all over the place. Guess I have to do something about that. Probably have to, I don't know, get solid food or something too. Yeah, definitely solid food or something.